The Milwaukee Brewers and Kansas City Royals played a wild one Tuesday night, and as their 1982 season continues, the Brewers win 8-6. How'd it happen? Well, Ted Simmons hit a solo shot in the second to make it 1-0. But back came the Royals in the fifth. Craig Pryor hit a two-run homer to make it 2-1 Kansas City. Then the Brewers responded for four in the bottom of the fifth. A Ted Simmons single scored Cecil Cooper, and then Stormin' Gorman Thomas hit a titanic three-run blast to make it 5-2 Milwaukee. Back came Kansas City. Hal McRae hit his fourth of the year to make it 5-3, and Jerry Martin with a solo shot to make it 5-4. Then Milwaukee went ahead for good in the eighth. They put 7 men at the plate, scoring 3 on 3 hits, a walk and an error. Jim Gantner with a single to score Pete Bruhard to make it 6-4. Then 2 sac flies, one from Paul Molitor and Cecil Cooper put the Brewers up by 8-4. But Kansas City came back. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits in the ninth. Greg Pryor doubled home Cesar Geronimo, and then John Watson singled home Pryor to make it 8-6. But in a game that didn't feature a lot of pitching, Bernard got the 9-out save, and the Brewers go to 12-9. They're 3.5 behind the Detroit Tigers in the American League East as Retro Sports Network. You know what? I just did all that and forgot to change a bloody scene. Oh, the whole thing about live bloopers and stuff. Well, I'm not going to do that again, but you can read the recap of what I just did. Larry Gura took the loss. Oh, see, this is why we tape these things. Kansas City was up 2-1. Greg Pryor with a 2-run shot after Ted Williamson hit. Yeah, you know what happened. So Larry Gura takes the loss. He goes to 1-3 on the year, allowed 5 runs and 6 in the third innings. Grant Jackson and Jim Wright couldn't hold on to it. And Bernard gets a save, and McClure gets the win. But we can tell you, here are the standings in the American League. You can see Milwaukee is 12-9. They're 4.5 behind the really, really good Detroit Tigers, who will get to play their Wednesday game. And the Royals are in third place. They're a game and a half behind the White Sox and 3.5 behind the Angels. And so, after that off like a herd of thundering turtles start, Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball 1982 Prime Time Replay. It's the Royals and the Brewers on a Wednesday afternoon for Milwaukee. And this is going to be a great picture. And so it's Vida Blue for the Royals, and Moose Haas.
Play ball.
And Moose Haas for the Brewers. I'm Ron Chuckett, the host of this Madcap series, and thanks for being patient, OG, as I botched the start like you would not believe. This should be a good one. Moose Haas is, he's coming off an injury from the 1982 season. He was a big part of the Brewers' first playoff appearance ever as part of the split season in 1981. And of course, Vida Blue, who had some good years for both Kansas City and San Francisco in the 80s, a good second act of his career. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. Both teams want to win. Kansas City has a realistic chance of winning the American League West outright in 1982. And the Brewers, of course, won the division, the American League East in 1982. But if you forgot, like I did, Raleigh Fingers, who was the bullpen's relief ace, is gone in July. He gets hurt. That's the bad news for Milwaukee. The good news, at some point, they get Harvey Keene as their manager. They become Harvey's wallbangers. And they also get Don Sutton in the trade from the Houston Astros. So their starting pitching is good. Their bullpen's going to be shaky. But first, they got to get past Detroit, Toronto in the American League East. This should be a good game. How you doing, Tribe fan? And so I made this one this afternoon. It's a nice little fuzzy thing, but there are no ads on the walls, and this is a good shot of County Stadium from the 80s. And Bruce Haas has taken his warm-up tosses. He's not had a great start on the year. Neither had the Brewers. They're only 12-9. He is 1-3 with a 5.68 ERA. Now he will make 27 starts on the year. This is Moose's fifth. His last appearance against the Minnesota Twins, 5 1/3 innings. 10 hits, 7 runs, all earned. That's not a good start. That's why the ERA is at 5.68. He walked 2 and struck out 2. Not the same pitcher as he was in the late 70s and really early 80s when he was a fireballer. In 25 1/3 innings, 32 hits, 16 runs, all earned, including 2 homers. He has walked 6 and struck out 6. And here's the lineup he will face. Cesar Geronimo will lead off for Kansas City and play center. He's hitting .400. John Wathan behind the plate for the 12-11 Royals, so bat second. George Brett in left field. Yep, left field for George Brett. I don't know what the catcher's thinking. Hal McRae is your DH. He cleans up. Jerry Martin in right. He'll bat fifth. Frank White, the defensive guru, will play second and bat sixth. Jamie Quirk is at first. He'll bat seventh. Greg Fryer, the third baseman, will bat eighth. And Onyx Concepcion, the shortstop, will bat ninth. In the outfield, Pete Bruhard, last night, one of the last night's heroes, a 5 and 8 in the left. Gorman Thomas, a 7 and 6 in center. And Charlie Moore is a 7 and 9 in right. This is the first appearance by the Brewers in this replay. Don Money is at third. He's a 7. Robin Yount, a 10 at short. Jim Gantner, a 6 at second. Cecil Cooper, an 8 at first. And Yost, I believe that's Ned, is a 2 and a 1. So the Royals will get the chance to run. And so Haas is ready. Geronimo at .400. 3 homers, 3 solo shots, by the way. Steps in a 65-degree afternoon here in Milwaukee. Winds are going out to left at 10. And as we get underway, and Geronimo grounds one to Gantner, over to Cooper, and that's how this one starts, with an out. Haas should go about 110 if it's a good one for him. That should get him in the 7th or 8th. John Wathan at 283, a homer and 5 RBI. If memory, Bernie the Brewer, that's right, Sports Time Machine. Hello. If I remember correctly, John Wathan had that big game for me against the Tigers a couple weeks ago. Haas delivers, and Wathan hits this one to right. Moore, 2 out. So a good start for the Moose here to George Brett. 271, a slow start for George. 3 homers and 12 RBI. He has walked 13 times. That's too quiet. There we go. So Haas is ready. Brett the lefty is ready. Here's the pitch, and George hits this one in the left field. That's going to go for extra bases. He's going for 3. The throw into Money is not in time, and Brett is standing on third base. He had a triple. He played it around the corner down there, and Bruhard had a little bit of a hard time picking that up. And Brett, chugging right along, gets the triple. Brings up Hal McRae at 349. What a start. 4 homers and 12 RBI. If he does not get a hit in his next 14 at-bats, he'll still hit 300. 2 out, runner on third. Pitch from Haas, McRae, fly ball to center. Thomas is there, and that retires the side. So Brett stranded on third after the triple. No runs, 1 hit, nowhere. After half an inning, it's Kansas City nothing, Milwaukee coming right up. And we told you, Vida Blue has not had a great start to the year for Kansas City's on the mound. He's 1-2 with a 5.95 ERA. This is his 4th start. He made 31 on the year, and his last start was against the Tigers. on April 20th. So it's been a bit. 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 8 runs, all earned. He's allowed 13 on the year. He walked 5 and struck out 1. That's not what you want to see if you're a Royal fan. In 19 2/3 innings, he's allowed 14 hits, 4 home runs, 13 runs. He's walked 10 and struck out 3 for that rather large 5.95 ERA. His real ERA was 3.78. 31 start. Charlie Moore will lead off in Milwaukee. Robin Yount will bat second. Lisa Cooper will hit third. Norman Thomas cleans up. Don Money will bat fifth. Larry Heisel is your DH. So Paul Molitor is either hurt or has a day off. Brewhart is in left, batting seventh. Jim Gantner will hit eighth. And Ned Yost behind the plate. Haas worked around the triple for 14 pitches. Defensively for the Royals, George is not actually a bad left fielder. Not a good one, but not a bad one. 5 4. Cesar Geronimo is a 3 5 in center. And Jerry Martin, the best of the 3, and 8 5 in right. Greg Pryor, a 4 at third. Onyx Concepcion, a 7 at short. Frank White, a 10 at second. Jamie Quirk, a 2 at first. That's not very good. John Wathan, a 7 and a 7 behind the plate. Blue is not a bad fielding pitcher. He's an 8 out of 10. Moore at 270, 3 homers and 10 RBI. How you doing, Seth? Al must be slacking. Great job last night in baseball demos. I'm with Ivy Jester. After working some difficulties, they 2 of them had a good time. And I believe they actually did chat for an hour and a half. So that's an ID Jester's chat and baseball channel. Baseball demos, doing the 77 Cubs and White Sox on this. So Moore's ready. And Vida Blue delivers. And there's a ground ball to Concepcion over the court. How you doing, Todd B? And Seth, yep, Vida, well, it's all a throwback. Let's see, Sports Time Machine says, yeah, that 82 McRae had the best OPS for Strat set that year. Mashes lefties. He was such a good hitter. And a prototypical DH. He was okay in the outfield, but not great. Here's Yount. Robin at 232. That's a slow start for someone who hit 330. 3 homers and 10 RBI. Blue delivers, and Yount hits a fly ball to shallow right. Martin and Quirk out, and Jamie makes the catch. Quirk on the grass and 2 out. 65 degrees, wind's blowing out to left at 10. And here's Cecil Cooper. 314. He had 121 real-life RBI. That's 14 in the replay. This is the Brewers' 22nd game and 2 home runs. Blue is pitch, and Cooper hits this one into center. Geronimo to his right and makes the catch. No runs, no hits, and no errors. After 1, no score. Okay, Jamie Min at Quirk. There you go. So it'll be Martin White and Jamie Quirk here in the second for Kansas City. Jerry, 275, a homer, and 6 RBI. As I said in the opening, I can't remember if it was the botched one or the actual game opening, Kansas City can win this division. California's bullpen is terrible, and Chicago's a year early. So big series for both teams, and a big confidence booster whoever comes out. The Brewers won the Tuesday game. Pitch to Martin. Liner right to Yount, 1 out. Full count, pitch was swung on, and this Cameron right to Robin. Brings up Frank White, 271. No homers yet. He had 11 on the league with 11 RBI. Tomorrow at lunchtime, we'll be featuring the White Sox and the Tigers. Tigers lead the American League East and the Toronto Blue Jays by 3.5. Pitch to White. Ground ball right to Haas. Over to Cooper. And there's 2 out. So Haas used to be a strikeout fiend, or an arming dude. Took that away. Here's Jamie Quirk. Jamie 1 for 8 on the year. He hasn't done a lot of work. No homers and an RBI. Part-time player. Pitch from Haas. And that's a liner that gets past Gantner and into center field for a base hit. So for the second inning in a row, the Royals have a 2-out hit. And Court has my speed, so he's not going anywhere. Here's Greg Pryor. 429. He's already matched his real-life home run total with 2. And has 5 RBI. Yeah, if you take a look, it's kind of over the scoreboard. Actually, I thought it was in left center. Mr. Utah Mike Sports Time Machines to tell you where Bernie's slide was. It may be covered up by one of the extras here. I thought it was in left center. You just can't see it, but you're right. Bernie did get Billy Brewer. Yeah. Anyway, pitch to Pryor, and there's a ground ball to Yount. Oh, what a diving stop by Yount. And his only play is the second to get there, and it's in time. He robbed Pryor of a hit. How about that? No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After an inning and a half, it's Kansas City nothing, Milwaukee nothing. Yeah, Bernie's still there, and they moved him over. You know, it's kind of strange to go, forward in the future. The naming rights to Miller Park change after next year. I forgot what it's going to be named, but it's going to be no longer Miller Park. In fact, it won't be any brewery at all. Which for Milwaukee, the team is named the Brewers. That's kind of strange. Here's Gorman Thomas, 286. He's walked 12 times, 9 home runs, and 18 RBIs to go with 17 strikeouts. Under the Miller Lite sign. Is that where he was in there? Okay. So yeah, I love the hats, and they had 2. They had the all blue ones with the glove that looks like the MB. You know what? I was in my mid-40s before I realized that was an MB and not just a glove. And you can see Gorman Thomas in this picture there with the road hat with the yellow and blue with the MB there. So Vita Blue is ready. Here's the first pitch to Thomas. There's a little looper to Quirk, and he makes the catch. That was on a full count if you want to be pedantic. So 1 out for Don Money. He was wearing the old Milwaukee stuff from when they moved from Seattle after the 1969 season. Money has been anything but. 138 with an RBI. Thanks, Tribes fan. American Family Insurance gets a naming right, and I think that's for the 2020 season. And Baseball Demo says Bucher seats in Miller Park way in the upper deck. Must be in the footload. So Money digs in. 1 out here in the second. Pitch from Blue, and Money hits this one opposite field to Brett and left, and he makes the catch for the second out. I don't remember Brett playing a lot of left field. And I can't change it. Wasn't my intention. Fielding. Otay, in real life, he played 12 games in left, just in case you're wondering. Did not have an error. He actually threw out somebody. And he's rated a 5 out there. So Larry Heisel, who is at the end of his career, I would think, or not off to a good start. 111, 2 for 18 on the year with a homer and 3 RBI. And actually, tomorrow's his last day with Milwaukee. He doesn't know it yet, but he's about to be traded. Had some great years, especially in '78, contended with Jim Rice for the MVP. And a lot of replays. If you look at 1978, as far as the sim engines go, whether it's this one or Strat or 50 engine of your choice, Milwaukee's pitching was so strong. They're going to give the Yankees and the Red Sox a run for their money. And in fact, in a lot of replays, they're going to win that division in '78. Pitch from Blue. Heisel blinds that one up the middle for a base hit. So there goes the no-hitter. First hit from Milwaukee, and it's also a 2-out hit. Mark Bruhart, I think I called him Pete, and I owe him an apology. 368, a homer, and 4 RBI. 2 out, runner on first. Vida Blue and Moose Haas going at it on a Wednesday afternoon in Milwaukee. Here's the pitch. Brewhard pops it up. Rights or goes deep to Geronimo. Haven't done a game from this part. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. It was, I feel like John Sterling. It was a deep fly out to Corman Thomas. After 2, Kansas City nothing, Milwaukee nothing. That 79 club is pretty tough too, Cosby says you're right. And you're right, Baseball Demos. Miller Lite had the best commercials. You know what? I've never had a Bud Light. I've been watching professional sports with gusto since I was 3 years old and never had a Bud. Mike Caldwell was known as the Yankee Killer, and so Mike Caldwell is a friend of mine. Sports Time Machine says, yes, Demo AM. This is not a great picture, Sports Time. The rest of it, you should be able to read the print okay, right? It's not a great picture, and it's not a terrible picture, but it's not a great one. And sometimes just check your settings to make sure that you're getting this. It's going out in 1080p, so make sure that YouTube has you set to watch it in 1080p. That should help. But it looks okay on my streaming end here. It'll be Onyx Concepcion, Geronimo, and Watson for Kansas City here in the third. Onyx at 263, and there's nothing else across from him. He is 5 for 19 on the year. Haas's pitch, and there's a ground ball of money over to Cooper, and that's an out. So 1 out, and then it'll flip the lineup to Cesar Geronimo. Cesar 0 for 1, Haas tonight. His first 9 and 2 in the third inning. 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and no strikeouts in 43 pitches. Yeah, he does look like Josh Brolin, doesn't he, Todd? Yeah, just check your settings. This is, like I said, this is not a great picture of County Stadium. It's better than the one that came with the game, but not much. Haas delivers, and there's a base hit left center. Geronimo slaps one between Yount and Gantner. And, ooh, he's got an 86% chance of stealing. So that's the third hit for the Royals. And with Watson over 1 stepping up. So the first Geronimo is, yeah, that worked. He now has a 97% chance of stealing second base. So with Yost's arm, the throw down gets past Gantner, and that's a huge mistake. Geronimo's now on third. So not only could Yost not even get close to throwing Geronimo, it skipped past the glove of Yount and into center field. So that's a stolen base and an E2, and Kansas City has a runner on third and 1 out. John Watson is 0 for 1. Haas delivers, and he lost it. That might be a blessing in disguise with 1 out. 4 wide ones. Even Watson's a threat to steal. So runners in the corners, 1 out for George Brett, who tripled in the first and couldn't go anywhere. Pitch from Haas. There goes Watson. Liner to Gantner, over to Cooper, and they double off Watson. He was off on contact, and Gantner's a good second baseman. Made the easy liner and tossed to first to retire the side. There he goes. And Gantner just had him picked. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 error after 2.5. Kansas City nothing, Milwaukee nothing. How you doing? Happy Wednesday. That's right, I forgot that Cincinnati had the no facial hair rule. Al's in the house. Happy Wednesday to you, my friend. And thanks for telling people to smash that like button. It'll be Gantner, Yost, and Moore for Milwaukee here in the third. Gantner at 297, a homer, and 8 RBI. And Blue is cruising right along through the first 2. Here's the pitch. Gantner, fly ball to right. Martin, 1 out. 6 He did a Vida Blue replay. I think it was 71 with Oakland. Maybe he can give some insight to what drove him to do that one and what he likes about Vida. Ned Yost is 1 for 8. He has an RBI, 2 strikeouts, and 30-some-odd years of World Series record. Blues pitch, and Yost hits this one to shallow center. Geronimo's there for the second out. So Blue cruising right along. His first 9 batters in a neat and tidy 2 2/3. A hit, no walks, and no strikeouts. And that no walks is big. He's walked 10 in 22 innings this year. And a very good 34 pitches. Charlie Moore is 0 for 1. Baseball Demos is going to be, yeah, I think said that, right? I might have screwed that one up. Chicago can beat Fergie Jenkins, and the White Sox beat Fergie Jenkins and the Red Sox to go 5-2. So, like I said, he was Baseball Demos did a great job last night with Artie Chester. I did divide the blue because he won the Cy Young and previously had done the NL Cy. Oh, for Fergie Jenkins. So it's just a match set. What struck you, Mr. Tribe fan, about blue as you were doing that replay? Pitch to Charlie Moore is a ground ball to Concepcion over the plate. And that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. A good first 3 for Mr. Blue. Kansas City and Milwaukee are knotted at zip. It'll be Yount, Cooper, and Thomas for the... Sorry, it'll be McCray, Martin, and White here in the 4th for Kansas City. Moose Haas matching him bagel for bagel. McCray's 0 for 1. Fly ball to right. Back goes Moore, and that will hit the wall. So McCray has extra bases, and he starts off the inning with a double. So Kansas City's put the most pressure on, but the scoreboard has zeros by it. Here's Jerry Martin. He's 0 for 1. Blue walked a lot of people, but man, could he just overpower them. Also 39 starts. Yep, 4-man rotation. And I believe, yeah, with Todd, I believe you're right. I know Phil Negro did it one year. Those, you're making 40 starts, you're playing mediocre teams, and yeah, you could easily win 20 and lose 20. He might have actually done that with the Rangers, which is where he went after the Red Sox. Martin line is short his first time up. McCray on second, nobody out. It's from Haas, and Martin hits this one in the right, Moore in the corner, and that's out. That one is a souvenir, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. No, you won't see anyone win 20 or lose 20 again. You barely see anyone win 20. But you got to be a good pitcher to lose 20 games, and I'll explain that in a minute. Pitch to Martin, ball 4. So Haas is in trouble here in the 4th. Curve upstairs. Now bring him Frank White, who grounded right back to Haas. Haas could use a grounder here. Pitch to White, and there's a ground. That's going to be a little looper in the right center. That's going to drop. McCray will score. Martin will hold it third. And White's on with a single. The Royals go up 1-0. Here's Jamie Quirk. Quirk singled his first time up. Runners in the corners as Haas is starting to tire a bit here. Here's the pitch. White goes, ground ball to Money, hit and run over to Cooper for the out. So Martin will hold. That's a new feature in the game. White goes to second, 1 out for Greg Pryor, who can bunt. And the Brewers will oblige. Money and Cooper come in. Let's see if the squeeze is on. Fly ball, pop up, right side. Cooper, foul ball. So it's no balls and 2 strikes. And Milwaukee will play back now. Haas delivers, and Pryor right back to Haas. Looks Martin back to third, throws to Cooper for the out. Oh, that's huge. And so there's 2 out in a 1-0 game. And that'll bring up Onyx Concepcion, who's 0 for 1. Grounded to Money his first time up. Haas delivers, and there's a fly ball to center. Thomas has it lined up, and that's the inning. Kansas City gets on the board with a run and 2 hits and no errors, but they strand 2. Haas works around it after 3.5. It's the Royals 1, the Brewers nothing. Mike Maroth was the last one to lose 20. And Baseball Demo says baseball needs a foreman in rotation. You only have to pitch. You'll never see it, though. You'll never see it. Walks back then weren't too taboo. Al Red Sox fan, you just go after the next batter. Baseball. If I play, is that a suggestion that my play-by-play is terrible, Mr. Baseball? I have once, and it was too slow for me. And Al Red Sox fan is right. It's only when pitch counts came in that walks became a huge deal. Of course, they didn't want to walk the batter, but they would just go after the next batter. And of course, you know, when you got into the Canseco and McGuire school of home run hitting, or the Earl Weaver, you know, 3-run homer thing, they just became more costly. Wentz going in now at 13th from right center. So here's Yount. Yount's 0 for 1. But the reason why you got to be a good pitcher to lose 20 is you got to get enough appearances. As someone mentioned up above, Mike Maroth for the Tigers was the last one to lose 20. Anthony Young, I think, lost 19 one year. They got to keep you on the mound long enough to lose 20 games. And so you got to be able to do something, even if it's just trying to keep your team in the game. And so that's why it's kind of a backhanded compliment to say that. Yeah, as I told you, 0 for 1. And the pitch from Blue, Hopkins, Watson takes off the mask and makes the catch. 1 out for Cecil Cooper, who's 0 for 1. Was 1 in 19. And Ryan or J.R. Richard or Ryan Duran or any of it, unless they could dominate. You know, the thing with Ryan was that he only allowed 7 hits per 9. But the day and age of the 150-pitch pitcher is done, and I think that's probably better overall. He's gotten too far the other way, but here's the pitch to Cooper. Now ball to White, makes a good stop, quick throw to Quirk, and that's an out. Today's pitchers, of course, are trained to go after hitters to the point where all they do is strike them out. It was what made Ryan special was that he was one of the rare pitchers who could get above 95. Today, I think even now with some help from some botanicals could probably get in the low 90s. I just threw a spitter. Here's Gorman Thomas. He's 0 for 1. Blue delivers, and Thomas hits a fly ball to the left. Brett goes back to the track to make the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 4, it's still the Royals 1, the Brewers nothing. Yeah, Kuzman lost 20 with the Mets in 77. The Mets lost a lot that year. And Omar Dahl came close to 1 year to losing 20. So here's Geronimo. It'll be the top of the lineup. So if you're 18 batters, Haas is at 74 pitches, 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, it was earned. And he's walked 2. Geronimo single and stolen base. He only had 2 stolen bases for the Royals in 82. And this time he strikes out. A 1-2 pitch on the inside corner, and I believe that's the first strikeout from anybody. So here's Walken. He was one of those walks. Happened his last time up. Haas delivers, and that's ball 4. And so Walken took that one high on a 3-1 count. Throw to first, and Walken is back. And they're not going to pitch out. If Walken wants to steal it, after what happened with Yost, they're going to let him have it, I would think. Brett's 1 for 2 with a triple, and he's now 2 for 3. Single to left center. Walken will hold at second. And there's all sorts of speed for Hal McRae. 1 for 2. He's got a double. And Walken did steal 30 bases as a catcher, which is incredible. But you just wear out so fast. Haas is delivering. McRae, ground ball to Yount. This could be 2. For 1. Over to Cooper. And Haas gets his best friend. Brett took Gantner out, but Gantner made the throw anyway. Halfway home, no runs, one hit, no errors. As I said, after 4.5, it's the Royals 1, the Brewers nothing. Remind me to put the camera back onto the field. But this is an invitation for you, the fan, to leave me a question for a special Friday night. We're going to do Bump Up the Lights, question and answers with Uncle Ron. So put them in the comments between tonight's game or tomorrow afternoon's game, or anytime between now and Friday night at 7 o'clock, and you get to ask Uncle Ron pretty much whatever you want, except for boxers, briefs, politics, or religion. So that's Bump Up the Lights with Uncle Ron, Friday at 7, starring you, and whatever question you want to ask, right here on Retro Sports Network. Okay, hopefully that gets you back to the game screen as Don Money digs in. He's 0 for 1. And Vida Blue has a good chance of going all the way here. He's only 44 pitches in through 4. Well, you can ask the question now or leave it in the comments. Let's see. Tribe Field says finished a game from Progressive Field in 2016. Ricky Nolasco gives up 2 hits and 7 2/3. And Beyond Hope Park's 8th inning home run for the Twins leads to a, thanks Al, to a Twins to an 3-0 win. I don't have the glasses on. Next game, it's Corey Kluber and Irvin Santana. You should film that. We highly encourage that. And as Al says, thanks for the update. And so just leave your question early, Todd. And of course, it's, it's on YouTube. It's not like it's going to go anywhere. All right, Money's 0 for 1. How many blondes does it take to screw in a light bulb? You know what? I think I'm going to join, Mr. ID Jester, I think I'm going to join Clinton Park with you can keep asking questions like that. How many, Kirk? How many light bulbs? How many blondes? It's a pitch to Money and he's lost ball 4. So 3-1 was high and inside, and Money got a chance to see the spin on it. And here's Heisel playing his next to last game or his last game with the Brewers. 1 for 1. He singled. Pitch from Blue, and he got him. First strikeout for Vito. 1-2 pitch on the inside corner. And there's 1 out from Mark Bruhard, who is 0 for 1. Oh, Al. Al's gonna ban you. Ha ha. Here's the pitch. Bruhard whips one in the left. Past Brett. He's going to have extra bases. Money's in the round third. Harvey Keene is not quite the manager yet. They're going to hold him for Jim Gantner. With 1 out, I guess you kind of take that chance, but with this offense outside of Yost, it's pretty good. Gantner flew out to Martin in the 3rd. He's 0 for 1. Lose delivery, and that's a base hit left field. Money will score. Bruhard will hold on the single. We're tied at 1. So Gantner on first, Bruhard on 3rd for Ned Yost, who's 0 for 1. All right, I'll read the joke. 100, 1 to hold the light bulb, but the other 99 to rotate the house. Oh, God. All right, that's an... Okay. I'm not reading any more of those jokes. So how many grammar Nazis does it take to screw in a light bulb, Dave Gardner? Pitch to Yost is a little line ground ball to Concepcion. The White for 1. They don't get anybody. The throw to White goes into right field, and the Brewers go up 2-1. So Gantner safe on 2nd, and Yost is on 1st because of the error. And so Concepcion, the field's in good condition, just flung it too hard, and you got White, who was a great fielder. He just couldn't do anything with it. And so Vida Blue, the victim of an error, now 18 batters deep, 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Will face Charlie Moore, who's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch, and there's a ground ball to Pryor. To White for 1, over to Quirk. And they get the pitcher's best friend around the horn. 5-4-3. But not before the Brewers score 2 on 2 hits and 1 error. After 5, it's Milwaukee 2, Kansas City 1. 2. Okay. Thanks, Dave. I'm not reading any more of the blonde jokes, but you have fun with that. That was funny. My wife used to be a blonde. Jerry Martin will lead off the 6 for Kansas City. He's 0 for 1. Haas getting the fatigue symbol. If he can get through 6, I think that's a pretty good afternoon's worth of work. And now is on the correct end of a 2-1 lead. A run and 6 hits in an error for the Royals. They've left 6 on. The Brewers, 2 runs on 3 hits in an error. And they've only stranded 2. Pitch to Martin. Got him. 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. So that's the second strikeout for Haas. And that brings up Frank White. RBI single in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch and White. Ground ball to Gantner. In on the grass. Over to Cooper. 2 out. You guys are goofball. Love you all. Here's Court, 1 for 2. Jamie has a single. And as was said earlier, Jamie Minute Court. Haas over 100 pitches. And there's a base hit in the right center. Moore will give it on a hop. And Court is on with a single. 7th hit for the Royals. And they'll bring up Greg Pryor, who's 0 for 2. So Haas at 106 pitches. Probably Pryor's his last batter either way. Here's the pitch. Pryor draws ball 4. And so a full count was low and away, and Bamberger, it's Buck Rogers who's the manager for the Brewers, not quite Harvey Keene. Will watch as Onyx Concepcion is 0 for 2. 2 out, top of 6. 2-1 Milwaukee. Kansas City got something going here. Work on second, Pryor on first. And Yost goes out to settle down Haas. And Concepcion hits a little looper that's going to fall for a single in front of Thomas. Quirk will score. Pryor goes to 3rd, and we're knotted at 2. And so 27 batters is enough. And here comes Jim Slayton. Too early for fingers to come in. Slayton has no record. In 4 2/3 innings, he's allowed a hit. Walked 3 and struck out 1. This is his 4th appearance of the year. He will start 7 games. He's only been with the Brewers about a week. His last appearance came on the 2nd, so that would be Sunday. He threw an inning against the Twins and walked 1. So rest is not a problem. He can go give you 70 pitches, which may be needed. And Cesar Geronimo 1 for 3 with the strikeout. That 1 being a hit. Slayton delivers. Geronimo fly ball to right. Warner in the corner. Foul. So it's a ball and 2 strikes for Geronimo. Slayton ready from the stretch. Ground ball up the middle. Slayton knocks it down over to Cooper, and the side is retired. But not before Kansas City ties its 1 in a run and 2 hits. They strand another after 5.5. It's the Royals 2, Milwaukee 2. And so Vida Blue, who could probably tell a few blue jokes of his own, guys, will face Yount, Cooper, and Thomas here in the 6th. Robin is 0 for 2. He's popped up twice. And Blue hits a fly ball to right from Yount. Martin along the line makes the catch for the first out. Here's Super Coop. Cecil Cooper 0 for 2. Fly to center and grounded to 2nd. Blue has held the Royals to 3 hits. Here's the pitch. Cooper in the center. Geronimo 2 out. So here's Stormin Gorman, and no, he hasn't struck out yet. He struck out 143 times in the real year. and 17 so far in the replay. He's 0 for 2. Blues pitch. Got him. He swung on and missed. Strike 3. That retires the side. No runs, no hits, and no errors. After 6, as Al tries to get you to hit the like button, and that is greatly appreciated. It's Kansas City and Milwaukee knotted at 2. So it's Watson, Brett, and McRae for the Royals here in the 7th to face Jim Slayton. Watson has walked twice and is 0 for 1. And in fact, he had 36 steals in 1982. It wasn't just he had 30 steals in any particular year, it was 36 in this year. Pitch from Slayton. Watson puts one down. Yost, quick throw to Gantner covering. They got him. So they play the surprise bunt, and it goes down on the score sheet 2-4. And that brings up George Brett, single, triple, and has not scored. Slayton, 1 out, top of 7th, from the line. Brett strikes out. He lined into a double play in the 3rd, and he swung on and missed a 1-2 off-speed pitch. So Slayton getting some big outs here because Raleigh Fingers has thrown a lot. In fact, he would throw too much. So here's Hal McRae. He has 1 for 3. He's doubled and scored that one of those runs. He doubled in the 4th. And where did he score? Must have been in the 4th. Slayton's pitch, McRae, fly ball to right. More. And that retires his side. Time to stretch and get yourself one of those cold, frosty beverages of a light variety. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6.5, it's the Royals 2, the Brewers 2. That's why I say you kind of took my joke. Sports Time Machine, and I love it. If you're scoring a game that was in 1982, you got way too much time on your hands. That's right. Yeah, I agree. So here's Don Money. He 0 for 1 with the walk. Heisel and Brewhard on coming up. Pitch from Blue, and Money strikes out. He swung on and missed a 2-2 as they played the Beer Barrel Polka. Here's Heisel, 1 for 2 today. He singled and struck out. 2-2 bottom in the 7th. Kansas City and Milwaukee on a beautiful day, Wednesday afternoon in May here in Wisconsin. 72 degrees. The wind's now blowing in from center at 8. And the pitch, he struck out. He swung on and missed a 2-2, and that's now 4 for Blue. What a response from Al. I like scoring a game in my head. Well, lots of space in there, I've been told by some folks. And Andrew, were you born in 1982? My youngest sister was born in 1982. Buck Brewhard is 1 for 2. He's got a double. And the pitch from Blue is a base hit up the middle, a 2-out hit. Geronimo throws it back in the infield. And Brewhard has 2 of the 4 hits. Here's Jim Gantner, and I can tell you firsthand that picture is not from 1982. He is 1 for 2. Or actually, you know what, it might be. I could be wrong there. He's got a single and RBI, and that came in the 5th. Blues pitch, Gantner draws ball 4. So the Brewers have the go-ahead run in scoring position in Brewhard, and Gantner on first for Ned Yost, who was 0 for 2. What was in the 6th grade? Okay. Well, I'm delighted that these take you back. What grade was I in 1982? I don't want to remember. I was a year ahead of you. I was in the 7th. Pitch to Yost is a line drive foul. Left side. That's right, because I had our football team. The first high school I went to had a football team, and we always had a pep rally dance on Friday nights. And so one of those came during a World Series game. And for me to miss a World Series game, it had to be pretty important. Not like I was going to dance with anybody. And so that was the game that Willie McGee robbed the home run I think it was game 3 right here in Milwaukee, as a matter of fact. And Joaquin Andahar did things with his knee that you're not supposed to do. And so I kind of cringed and cried and all that. But yep, 7th grade that fall. Yost, as I said, is 0 for 2 with an RBI. Here's the pitch. Yost strikes out. So Blue gets out of it. An 0-2 pitch caught the outside corner. And that retires the side. No runs, a hit, and no errors. After 7, it's the Royals 2, the Brewers 2. Jim Slayton doing a good job. So we head to the 8th. Martin, White, and Court here on Retro Sports Network. Graduated in 1982. I think it's safe to say that if you're in the industry, you remember 1982. Jerry Martin certainly does. He's 0 for 2. He's walked and struck out. Slayton's pitch, fly ball, left center. That goes Bruhar to the wall. He'll turn and watch it go. So Jerry Martin with some pop puts one into left center, and it's 3-2 Kansas City. Let's watch it again. That pitch was hung and hit way back in the bleachers. Bruhar had no chance. About 2/3 of the way up there, and Bernie Brewer won't be sliding down now. So the Royals go up, and their bullpen is good. Here's Frank White. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI. Slayton's pitch. White, ground ball. Gantner can't make the play. He got there late. It hit off his glove. It sports into center field, and that's the second error for the Brewers this afternoon. So it's not what Slayton wanted. Here's Jamie Court. Jamie's 2 for 3. He singled twice and scored. White on first. Nobody out here in the 8th. Here's the pitch. Balk. Slayton is called for a balk. And so he slams his cleats against the dirt. And even though you can't see it on the replay, it's borderline, but you gotta call it if it's borderline. So White moves to second. So a big insurance run for the Royals, already in scoring position for Court. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Yount. White will stay put. Over to Cooper at first. Got him. So one big out. Yep. Oh, I'm delighted that you're watching on your phone. Remember, it takes a lot of the juice out of it, though. Triumph fan was only 3 in 82, so don't remember. Probably watching Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Also good programs from 1982. Todd B. Frank Academy White. Yes, Kansas City had a big school for prospects, and White was a graduate of it. And I believe, weren't they the first to actually have one down in the Dominican? And the Royals were so forward-thinking. That's why they were so successful for a decade. They really were. And they only got the one World Series championship out of it. But from 76 to 85, they were in contention pretty much every year. Pitch to Pryor, fly ball to right, Moore in the corner, he's got it. White will tag and hold at second. I'm surprised there. Because Moore, although he has a very good arm, he's a 9. That pitch was down in the Packer end zone. And here's Onyx Concepcion. He's 1 for 3. He has a single and an RBI. 2 out, top of the 8th. Royals 3, Brewers 2. Here's the pitch. Concepcion fouls it back. It'll be Moore, Yount, and Cooper for the Royals here in the 8th. Slayton delivers. Concepcion lines one right for money, and that is the side. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Vita Blue's done. Here comes Quisenberry. Kansas City 3, Milwaukee 2. Yeah, I believe, yes, Andrew says, had a complex in Haines City, Florida. Something like Boardwalk in baseball. So the right thing to do would be to tell you what Vita Blue did this afternoon. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs all in. He's walked 2 and struck out 5 and lowered his ERA from an unhealthy 5.05 to a morbidly obese 5.06. Quisenberry 0-4 on the year, 5 saves, just 13 hits. A 3.21 ERA. He pitched Monday in this series and got lit up. He took a walk. So Milwaukee has won the first 2. In 2 2/3 innings, he allowed 4 hits, 5 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Did I click on anything here? No. So Quisenberry's got a score to settle after getting a lit Christmas tree on Monday. He's already thrown 24 games into the season, 33 2/3 innings. He's got a 6-out save a hitter. And Charlie Moore is 0-3 with a double play thrown in. And there's a base hit left side. It's with Concepcion and Fire, and the Brewers start the 8th with a hit. Here's Robbins 0-3. Popped up twice and flew out to Martin and right in the 6th. Quisenberry delivers, and Yount strikes out. He looked at an 0-2 change, and here's 1 out for Cecil Cooper. Cooper hits righties at a 331 clip. Pitch. Here's a long drive to right. Back goes Martin. That kind of died in the air, and there's 2 out. Looked good off the bat, and by the time it hit the outfield, it was a dead-on arrival. So here's Storm Gorman Thomas. He has 9 dingers already on the year. He struck out his last time up. He's 0-3. Yeah, tough day for Yount is right. Geronimo, Waffen, and Brett for the Royals in the 9th. Quisenberry deals, and there's a little liner to Brett and left and makes the catch. Jammed him, broke the bat, and Brett corralled it in. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the 9th. Slayton is in to finish this thing off. Kansas City 3, Milwaukee 2. If you want to leave a question in here, I'll try to remember it. But, so yeah, bump up the lights Friday night at 7. And I will not be answering any blonde jokes, Mr. Jester. So Geronimo was 1-4. He was singled, stole a base, and struck out. And it'll be Monty, Heisel, and Bruhard for Milwaukee in the 9th. With some Slayton, Geronimo in the left. Bruhard is there, 1 out. And who's hurt? It's Geronimo. He turned an ankle, and he will not be in center field for the 9th. Here's John Waffen. He's walked twice and is 0-2. Slayton's pitch. Ground ball to Gantner, has to hurry over to Cooper at first, and they got him on a bang-banger. Now that brings up George Brett. And again, don't even try to tell me that's from 1982. He is 2-4. He is singled and tripled and struck out. 3-2 for the Royals. 3 runs, 9 hits, and error. They left 9 on. Okay, I will answer that Friday, Mr. Demos. The straight at 9. The Brewers, 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, and left 5 on. Mr. Demos, I've forgotten your real name. I'd like to send you an email. Can you just give me a general one in the chat that I can reach you at, buddy? It's all good. Nothing bad. So Brett, as I said, 2-4, single and triple. Slayton's done yeoman's work. Line drive to Yount, and down go the Royals. So after 8.5, it's Kansas City 3. Last chance saloon for the Brewers. They have 2. All right. I will send you a note, my friend. And it's David. Okay, just wanted to make sure of that. So it'll be Money, Heisel, and probably Bruhard for Milwaukee here in the 9th. And Money is over. As I said, he's been anything but this year. He does have a walk and a run scored. And a strikeout. He's 0-2. No. I'm not going to send you any heat mail. It's warm in here. I'm not going to send you any hate mail. Not at all. Not at all, my friend. So Quisenberry on for the save. So Via Blue is in line to win it. And Moose Haas is on the record to lose this. Don Money would like to get him off the hook. Quisenberry's pitch, and there's a ground ball up the middle, base hit. So the Brewers start the 9th and get the tying run on. No, that wasn't tolerating. That wasn't tolerating. Got, I don't have my glasses on, so when I read that, Al, I read that as Ron Leftover. That wasn't tolerating. You did a good job. You did a very good job. Larry Heisel was 1 for 3. And do I pinch hit for him? But I'm not going to pinch hit for him. So the tying run is on, and Heisel's now the winning run at the plate. I see ID is in some rare form today. Don Rickles called. He wants his act back. Quisenberry delivers, and Heisel hits this one to left. That comes in 1 out. The money gets back to first, and Kansas City's 2 outs away from the win. Brewhard having a great game. He has singled, doubled, and scored one of the 2 runs for Milwaukee. Here's the pitch from Quisenberry. Brewhard, ground ball to Concepcion. Only play. Oh, they're going to try for 2. White for 1. Over to Quirk, and Brewhard beat it out. So Milwaukee's down to their last out for Jim Gantner, who has walked, singled, and driven in a run. And so 3-2 to score. Last chance to win for the Brewers. Gantner at the plate. Yost, if the game is extended, dead Yost is not going to hit at all. I want to say that picture of Gantner, by the way, is from his 87 play. And so, baseball, are you streaming yours? Now, that's the same question. Everyone's asking the same question. Great minds think alike. So if this is, it's a doubleheader. I'll have the Red Sox and the White Sox for you on Baseball Demos channel. No pressure or anything. I'll let you answer before I end the game here. Quisenberry inning and 2/3. 2 hits and a strikeout. Yeah, I believe it is Todd B. I believe you're right. I thought so, and then, you make those pronunciations and I'm told I'm wrong. Quisenberry delivers. Gantner. Fly ball left center. That's going to drop in front of Brett. So Brewhard goes to third. Gantner is on first. And the winning run is on base. And then Yost is going to watch. And now might do a good tonight. So Ned Yost is not going to bat. Facing a righty. He's going to hit. Whose cuisine will reign supreme? And who's coming up? Why not Paul Molitor? For the chance to win the game. He has a game-winning RBI on him. He's given 312. Love to realize that bat total. A devilish hitter, if you will. A homer and 7 RBI on the year. Brewhard is a tying run on third. Gardner the winning run on first. So Quisenberry, who's already lost, he's 0-4 on the year with 5 saves. Hanging on to this one for dear life. If Clinton was here, this is a cardiac game. Quisenberry delivers. Amara pops this one up. Concepcion looks, he is there, and the Royals hang on to win this one 3-2. And so that's it. 3-2 the final score. So Vida Blue picks up a second win of the year. Dan Quisenberry a 6th save. It was a rough 6 outs. He allowed 3 hits, but no one scored. Kind of like the Patriots defense. Bend but don't break. Look at that. He threw 22 pitches and 20 of them for strikes. Jim Slayton gets tagged with a hard luck loss. 3 1/3 innings, a run it was earned, and that was the home run to win the game by Jerry Martin in the 8th. So Kansas City's had the bases loaded in the 3rd and could not score off of Moose Haas. Frank White with an RBI single to score Hal McRae in the 4th, put the Royals up. And then Milwaukee got 2 in the 5th. Jim Gantner singled home Don Money to tie it at 1. And Ned Yost hit into a grounder. And then Concepcion couldn't handle it to make it 2-1 Milwaukee. Onyx Concepcion made up for it. He hit an RBI single to score Jamie Quirk in the 6th. And Jerry Martin hit a solo shot in the eighth, a bomb to make it 3-2 Kansas City. So Jim Slayton, hard luck, lost all the way. Game time of 3 hours on the nose. And your player of the game is Vida Blue. How about that? So it's going to be a quadruple header. That would be kind of fun. So lots of stuff coming up on our family of YouTube channels tonight. Baseball demos, sports time machine, and now Red Sox fan. No 17 to 10. No 17 to 10. So, okay, let me finish the rest of the Wednesday for you. All right. You got me on camera. Not a busy day. There were only 7 games on the schedule. Houston goes to 10-17. They beat the Reds 10-2. Don Sutton gets the win. He goes to 2-2. Alan Ashby 3 for 5 and 2 doubles. The 2 games you've already known about. So the night games. Texas beats Detroit 2-1. Charlie Huff goes to 3-1. Lee Mazzilli 2 for 3 with a stolen base. Boston beat Minnesota. The Red Sox are now 12-13. Don't pass out at once, Al. Mike Torres gets the win. He's 1-1. I won't pass out here. Jim Rice 3 for 4, hit his 5th of the year and drove in 3. Pittsburgh beats Atlanta 4-3. Rick Rhoden with the win. He goes to 4-2. Rick Mailer with a loss 2-3. Bill Madlock 2 for 4. He hits his 4th and drives in 3. And the White Sox go to 14-9. They beat the slumping Blue Jays 5-2. Trout gets the win, not Mike. Dennis or Steve. It was Steve, right? Yeah. Ray Luzinski 3 for 3 with a homer and 4 RBI. All right, so I'll put up the standings here for a minute. As I tell you, tomorrow at lunch, Thursday at noon, it's going to be the Tigers hosting the White Sox from Detroit. Friday night, bump up the lights with Ron. I've already got a couple questions for that. Over the weekend, it's the Celtics turn in their basketball replay, and we're doing some soccer for you on Sunday. So Montreal leads St. Louis by a game. This is after May 5th. Chicago 3.5. In the National League West, the Dodgers lead the Braves by 3.5. The Giants and Padres are within 5. Detroit by 2.5 over Baltimore. 3.5 over Toronto. Milwaukee kind of needed this win. They're now 4.5 back. Boston 12-13. There's always hope. In the West, California, 1.5 over Chicago. Kansas City remains 3 back. So there you have it, my friends. I'm Ron Juckett. Hit that like and subscribe. And oh, thank you so much for watching. All sorts of stuff on the community on YouTube with baseball demos going next. Until tomorrow, we'll talk to you the next time.